if you're looking at technology and its implementation and its time consumption, sometimes it's overwhelming because we think of the amount of things that the tool can do, and we're just
Yeah.
overwhelmed by all its capacity, and we're unable to implement any or all of it, right? So as a result, we shy away and we kind of walk away and do our own thing. So I'll be very honest. When we talk about me investing time, I have to kind of give a shout out to my project engineer Leah Carter and our intern Hannah Jackson, because the two of them are the ones who pretty much run the captures. They observe the workflows. Then when I sit down and kind of go through the process with them, they'll give me a report of what failed, what didn't work, and I've kind of trained them in the mindset of, hey, we're trying to analyze this from a workflow perspective. We're not just trying to do a task, check off the box, keep moving, right? So if we are trying to analyze, okay, how do I make this easier for the next team that does this, right? I need to understand what the pain points are, and more than just understanding, I need to communicate it, right? So we have a pretty regular cadence of conversation with Construction's team where we'll give them feedback and say, hey guys, this is not acceptable. The date on the capture is wrong. Or, hey guys, the app is too heavy in terms of its load on the phone, and now you want me to capture all the video data. My phone doesn't have enough capacity to store the video data, right? So you have all these practical use case issues, and you communicate that back, then the team's able to kind of give you some advice on how to improve it, right? Because sometimes they may have a solution, sometimes they may not, and that's fine. So in terms of advising to a project manager who is leveraging tools, I would say, break it into bite-sized pieces in terms of the information you're pursuing. Identify a minimalistic workflow to identify how to kind of approach it, pursue that workflow, and then adjust, right? And then once you get comfort level, you're more efficient at doing that one piece. Now let's find the next one, right? The first one for us was, okay, let's figure out how to take 360 images with this video walk, right? That's why we're not at the schedule thing yet, because we just wanted to understand how to use this tool, right? So initially, when we started doing the walks, we figured out, well, if you hold the camera too high, when you do a model comparison, you're in the flow of the second flow, right? So you have to adjust your camera height, right? Then we realized, well, when your building is not fully built, right, the capture radius is typically 5 feet. So unless you're close to a wall, you're not getting sufficient data capture. So when you're doing comparisons, you have a slight deviation in vantage point. So now we adjusted our method of walking the site to like a snake formation so that we capture all those data points, right? So we're observing our workflow, we're adjusting our practices, and now we feel like we're somewhat masters of that step. So our next step now is, okay, now let's try and evaluate schedule, right? So now we leverage the schedule, and then we'll take that into bite-sized pieces. I'm sure we don't want to eat it all at once either. So it's just breaking it into small bite-sized pieces. And if there is any industry that I am familiar with in terms of cohesiveness to help and kind of cheer each other on, it's the construction industry. Even if we're in different companies, we may not share specific workflows with you. But hey, if you're having a problem and someone wants to talk about it, right, there is a fair amount of cross-sharing of ideas and exchanges. And really and truly, I think we need to build a stronger base. I see a lot of user groups in terms of construction technology professionals, your BIM groups and, your VDC groups and so on. I really think we need to, have more project managers in those, or better yet, actually project managers who are championing construction technologies in their own realms that are, really kind of having these conversations, because sometimes the conversations we're thinking through is not necessarily the same approach as the same issues that our ConTech professionals are pursuing, right? We're all in the same business. We're all trying to build the building and make it efficient and kind of go through the production of the life cycle, if you will. But we're all focused on our own parts, as we should be, right? But I think there is some bridging of the silos we need to do as well in the process.